Hey guys, I want to say hello again because I just said it, but welcome to Grow My Lion Season 2 topic based season. I'm kind of just working through thoughts and feelings and whatnot. And today I wanted to reference forgiveness and how I feel like not only is forgiveness like a difficult thing for most people, I would say, but I feel like I've realized it has caused me to have to change, and that's been one of the biggest difficulties with it. For example, what I mean is forgiving someone, I feel like in that initial stage, for me, only speaking for myself, sometimes it was coming from a superficial place or from my ego, just being able to say, okay, yeah, something was done, it happened, but I'm not gonna hold it against you no more. No more debt. We good. We can move on, right? I'm not gonna bring it up anymore. It's fine. And the effort is to not treat them any way that would be withholding from them because you're trying to have things be mended and restored, essentially. But something that I've realized when it comes to forgiving somebody is that there's a part of me that has wanted to hold on to offense and facing the notion that it's not simply about seeing somebody else's differently because they did something, right? And I don't mean to put quotation marks there. If people do things, we do things, and so it's very real. But what I more so intended was it's not simply about basing it off of what was done to me, but it brings to question changes that have to happen within me. Not simply saying that I need to change again, facing them, like how I see them, and me being able to get over it, or me even being able to heal, which is a legitimate thing. What I'm trying to say is that I realized I was holding on to walking around as an offended person. I was very used to being someone where offense was a part of my outlook and perspective, at least when it came to that person. But any boundary you place within yourself, or like a wall, I think that's a better word, it exists there. And I found that you can't really compartmentalize your life and say, oh, well, I'm going to just hide that part off and then just be free flowing everywhere else. A wall hinders the whole thing. It will hinder the good and the bad. Like dang, that's not even like the best example, but it'll hinder every part of you, not just the one part that you think it was supposed to. And so when there's someone who you felt offended by, holding them at arm's length, even though I've said forgive them and meant it, it was genuine. If I still feel offended, there's still been a wall, or there's still been a distance between myself and them within myself. And facing that would mean that I would have to be different. I would now have to face what life was like without considering that person as someone who has offended me. And I feel like I've been used to, in times, being in a state of mind or of being where I walk around like that, where I'm used to holding some sort of grudge, even if it's just a little bit, a little sprinkle of grudge or something. I've been used to that. And the question of, well, shoot, what is life like if I'm not mad anymore, or if I'm not offended anymore, or if I don't feel any sort of negative way and it's actually just peace? What's that like? Peace. I think that's something that comes to mind now as I consider what forgiveness requires. It not just being about the other person and trying to reconcile the things that happen, but really me, in terms of just the forgiveness part, needing to be okay with letting go of that person, the view of that person from the lens of like, or perspective of offense, and to be okay no longer feeling like that is my reference point to them, and to then be able to make healthy decisions or decisions with the intent of what would be healthy between us, and it not being simply based on the past or based on boundaries that have been established, which again, boundaries are healthy. But I think when boundaries are intended to produce health and goodness, that's when they function best. When boundaries are there out purely out of fear or from offense, like, okay, yeah, I forgive you, but I ain't forget, so I'm gonna put up this wall and you ain't never crossing over here again. However, we good, for me, that wasn't really working out because that became a part of how I moved through life, and I don't want to do that anymore. It hinders me, not even, about them. It's really hindering my own lived and expressed life. So having to face the fact that forgiveness also requires that I change and I become free. Sometimes freedom is a difficult thing to achieve, not because we don't want it, but because it means that we have to be different. And it's scary being different sometimes when you're used to feeling a certain way. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Being okay with letting go of offense and not living your life as an offended person and feeling rightfully offended, but being okay with living at peace and letting forgiveness actually be forgiveness in that way as well. And that takes courage. It takes courage to do that and face those things. So I hope that was helpful. Maybe in your own life, you might consider ways that you're offended, offense that you're maybe holding on to, and how things can be different if you were no longer offended. And hopefully, you won't be afraid to take steps to be in a place of peace. So let that go well with you, and I'll talk to you guys again.